Welcome, fellow educators. My name is Joe Brennan, and I'm going to go through with you the national standards in online teaching and the research that I did with them. There are 7 main categories that the national standards or quality talked about. One is professional responsibilities, digital pedagogy, community building, learner engagement, digital citizenship, diverse instruction, and assessment and management. I'm going to talk to you what those each of those 7 categories kind of means to me. So, professional responsibilities. The big takeaway that I took from this is they want you to act like a professional, making sure that you meet all of the proper teaching criteria and credentials that is required to become a teacher. They talk about being reflective practitioner, meaning you think about how your lesson went and you go back and how can you make it better to best suit the needs of your students in your classroom. Being an ambassador of knowledge to all the stakeholders involved, whether that be the parents, the other teachers, and most importantly, the students. And then the final kind of takeaway that I get from this is you're a demonstrator. You're demonstrating what it is that you're looking for them to do. You're a demonstrator of time management strategies and just general overall learning strategies with that. That's the professional responsibilities. Next one would be digital pedagogy. What this one kind of means to me is you're looking at tools in the digital realm of things, in the digital realm of teaching. You're making sure that these tools that you're teaching them and how to use them support them in their communication, in their productivity, in their collaboration, their presentation skills. Those are all tools that you're teaching them that are relevant to them in the realm of whatever class you're teaching. I teach science, so I'm going to make sure that the tools that we're using are specific to science and we can connect back to something that we're doing in science. Using a different forms of interacting with their peers, with the teacher, just showing how they can connect and interact to build relationships is another part of this standard. We're in this digital world and we almost need to be have some basic troubleshooting skills to help our students with it, with the tools that we're teaching them. So just having a good basic understanding on how to problem solve with the tools that you're teaching them. And then the final thing that I take away is just make sure that you have a safe digital learning space for your students where they can express themselves and feel safe about that. Next one is community building. With this standard, what I think of this is you give them opportunities to collaborate with their peers. You do this by creating your expectations of what it should look like, sound like, and feel like. You want to make sure that your learners are active learners. You're going to also give them opportunities for learner-to-learner interaction, meaning peer-to-peer rather than just learner-to-teacher interactions. And then have a variety of those. And what that's going to do is that's going to meet the needs of all of your learners. Learner engagement is the next standard. With this one is you're kind of creating a path for them to where you want them to be and what goals do they want to achieve. You're going to identify patterns by different forms of assessment and where can you connect what the student is doing to where they're going with their goals. You're going to let the learner kind of customize a path or paths with it. Relationships, as a teacher, you're going to be able to connect with your students and build those relationships. When you do that, they're going to be more engaged. You're going to give them the resources that they need to be successful, and you're going to communicate effectively and frequently with them to kind of make sure that they are on their path. Digital citizenship is another one. You're going to model and promote that. What it should look like, sound like, feel like. You're going to have your standards set. What are your requirements? You're going to come up with policies, and you as a teacher are going to comply with them and model them, so your students can understand them. You're going to have your acceptable use policy. Maybe that's handed down from your district, or maybe you as a team create one. What does that look like in your classroom? But you're going to follow that as well. Diverse instruction. You're going to monitor and interpret their progress, that they are, how they're completing and what they're doing. You're going to communicate with all parties involved, whether that be other staff members, with parents, with students, whoever's involved in that. The decisions that you make, you're gonna have that based upon data. If a student needs some assistive technologies, you're going to reach out to other staff members that are connected with them, whether that be like a case manager or a parent or a principal, just to make sure that you can allow them to be as successful as you can. You're going to give them opportunities for growth. You want to make sure that they can become the best that they can be. Assessment and management. How you assess your students, you're going to choose appropriate tools for that. You're going to build in both formative and summative assessments using a variety of ways, and connecting those forms of assessment with what you're doing to make it relevant to them. You're going to keep those assessments aligned with goals. This allows you to customize your instruction. Also build in some self-assessment, allowing the students to self-assess where they feel that they are at. Here's the resources that I used. I use a quality online teaching for the national standards for quality.